Greetings. So today I'd like to talk about something that is a bit of a cancer in the American Christian community, and it's something called Christian nationalism. Now, when a Democrat uses this term, it's an attack on it's an attack on Christianity. But I happen to be a Christian, and I'm conservative, and but I'm still going to bring up Christian nationalism as a problem because it is a problem. It's a problem in a lot of churches. Now, why is it a problem? Now, I'll explain why it is, because a lot of Christians seem to not know the difference between nationalism and Christianity. Those are two completely different things. And you'll say, well, yeah, obviously, nationalism and Christianity are two completely different things. Yeah, it's one thing to say that, but it's another thing to believe that actually and live your life in accordance with it. What I've been seeing from a lot of Christians, because most American Christians are rather shallow, and the churches are rather shallow, and they never really go that deep into doctrine, is that they basically, you can't have two authorities. Whenever you have two things, one's going to go higher than the other. So what happens is they are nationalists first, and their Christianity is like a second thing. So they're like these American patriots, like, we love America, America's great, make America great again. And then somehow that's supposed to equate with being a good Christian, when it doesn't. It's a completely different thing. And their Christianity is like second priority. It's like way further down the line. So they seem to equate these two things, national American patriotism with being a Christian. And like those two things have like nothing in common. If they have anything in common, it's like, very, very little. And that's why you get like really dumb takes, like people actually thinking Trump's a Christian. I don't know why anybody would actually think Trump is a Christian. I mean, that just sounds kind of dumb. Like, who would think that? I don't care if he waves around a Bible and says he believes in God. I mean, that's literally all he says, like, I believe in God. Saying I believe in God does not make you a Christian. Like, anybody could say that, like... It doesn't mean anything. It's kind of dumb that people actually fall for that. It's really sad that Christians, there's some Christians that actually believe stuff like that, like Trump's a Christian. And so anyway, as I've said in the previous video, I don't like, generally Christian and politics don't go together, because anyway, I mean, I could make a whole nother video about why that's not actually biblical at all. So, but yeah, people fall for that. So, what's the message? Make America great again, right? That's the message of the Republican Party, make America great again. What does that actually mean, though? Like, make America great. In what way? Economically great? That's generally what they mean. It's like, oh, we'll have a lot of money, we'll be rich. I mean, sure. I mean, maybe Trump can do that. Maybe the economy will be better. Maybe people will have more money. But what part of that has anything to do with the Christian message? What part of that has to do with the Bible? Does Jesus say, oh yeah, you should go get rich? Like that should be the purpose of your life. No, he doesn't say that at all. In fact, a lot of the prophets, a lot of the people in the Bible were poor. The American Christian is so far removed from what actual Christianity was throughout the ages. But yeah, it's like there's this obsession. It's like it's like a prosperity gospel type thing. They think wealth means you're righteous. That's basically it. It's very, very deceptive, very, very deceptive. So it's a tactic of Satan. He can't. If you are saved, this tactic of make America great again, it weakens Christians. It just basically makes them useless. It creates this generation of very weak, ineffective Christians that can't do anything. And they have a very wrong idea of what it means to be a Christian. It's all very me focused. Man, I could just rant a long time about this stuff, but people just are focused on the completely wrong things. So don't get too caught up in politics. Very bad idea. Focus on what the Bible says, because it's very easy to get carried away with all this political stuff, and people spend way too much time looking at that stuff instead of actually following Christ. Winning souls and stuff that actually matters for eternity. So yeah, like Republican Party, like what's great about it is maybe a few social issues that they are more aligned with, and that's why Christians vote Republican. It makes logical sense to vote Republican if you're a Christian, but do not be deceived. You are voting for the Republican Party because it is the lesser of two evils, and just happens to be a little bit aligned with the Bible. That's it. And you don't vote for the Democrats because it's an insane party and completely anti-Bible. So yeah, it makes logical sense to pick the better, party, which is the Republican Party. But do not think that's some kind of proxy or substitute for actual Christianity. It just happens to be slightly aligned with the Bible. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to say, is that just do not get carried away with the stuff. What I want to say is if Jesus were walking on earth right now, or Apostle Paul, do you really think Jesus Christ would be wearing a MAGA hat? Like, seriously, do you actually think that? That sounds stupid. Would Apostle Paul be like, oh yeah, Trump? Who? That's crazy. You're insane if you actually think that. They would know who Trump is for what he really is, and the rest of them. So just do not be deceived by this stuff. Keep Jesus first. If you really put Jesus first, you will have wisdom, and you will see all of this stuff for what it really is. So I guess I'll say one more thing. There's a lot I could say, but I'll just say one more thing. It's that there are Christians being persecuted in other countries. That is happening. You just don't see it in America because we have freedom. But there are Christians being persecuted in other countries, and they're more closely aligned with what the Bible actually says. They're living a much more holy Christian life than the average American Christian. And you should have more in common with a Christian from Iran or Iraq because you believe in the same Jesus, in the same Bible. You should have more in common with them than you do with other Americans that are not Christians. And that thought probably doesn't enter anybody's mind at all. You have way more aligned with non-Christians in your country, but that's not how it should be. You should be in greater alignment with other Christians around the world because you serve the same God. We should have something in common with Christians in other countries. Much more in common with them than we would do with lost people in our country. And that makes complete sense biblically, but to the average person, average American, that's like a mind-blowing concept like that they probably don't even think about. Anyway, so just what I'm going to say, do not be deceived. Just stay with Jesus, use wisdom. Do not get caught up in political stuff. Do what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so see you next time.